Hey guys, it's that time again for another games I bought recently. Recently here in London we had the MCM, which is basically London's Comic Con, which is they do it once every 6 months or so, and you can go there and you can buy loads of retro games and stuff. It's a whole lot of fun. So I've got tons of retro stuff here, quite a good mix of retro and modern in fact. And last episode I said I was going for a complete Mario collection. And so a lot of the stuff here is Mario. It's pretty much half Mario, half stuff that isn't Mario. So I'm going to split the video into two parts. The first half will be other stuff, and then if you're a Mario fan you can check out the second part, because I've got like over 20 Mario games to show off and over 20 games that aren't Mario. So I picked up a lot of stuff. Anyway, let's start off with some good old 8-bit games. First off, for the Master System I got Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos. And so we're starting on a bit of a down note because this is probably my least favourite Sonic game ever, to be honest. Even worse than Sonic 06. Like, even Sonic 06 and Sonic Unleashed, I can see some things that I like about them. But I can't really say anything about this game. They ported the original Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to Master System, dumbed down, and they still played. They were okay. But this is like it's an exclusive to the Master System. I think it's on Game Gear as well, as is the sequel Triple Trouble, which I've also played, which is significantly better. Basically, what's so bad about this game is that the level design is really poor and boring. Like, there'll just be big holes that you jump over, and then you don't even die if you fall in the holes. You can spring back up, and it's just jumping over hole, jumping over hole, jumping over hole. Get to the end of the level, and that's it. What's good about this game is you can play as Tails on his own, which I think was quite remarkable for the time this came out. And I guess the bosses are kind of unique because you don't fight Dr. Robotnik. You fight like different versions of regular enemies, which I suppose is one good thing you can say about this game. But yeah, the game is really boring. Besides that, it's basic Sonic platforming with just terrible level design. To be honest, they really didn't put a lot of effort into this, I don't think so. Anyway, that's that. It's pretty cool to have an exclusive on the Master System, I guess, though, or an exclusive to the 8-bit Sega systems. Anyway, next up we have an NES game, and that is Snake's Revenge for the NES. So this isn't really a Metal Gear game. What this was at the time Metal Gear came out for the MSX, and then it was released for the NES, and Kojima wasn't a big fan of the NES version, but another team went ahead and created an unofficial sequel. It's still by Konami, but Kojima didn't have a hand in this, and so it's not Metal Gear canon. It's not even part of the franchise really, but it's an unofficial sequel to the NES Metal Gear, set 3 years after the Outer Heaven incident, and you fight. His name's really weird. The bad guy is Hyarola Kokamame. And the story isn't as good as the other Metal Gear games. I've played the MSX ones, they're really good. The gameplay is okay. Basically this is a decent title. I'm not going to talk about it too much now because this was part of my backlog this year, so I will be reviewing it soon. And I'm getting through my backlog pretty quickly this year, so in September I'm going to be reviewing that game as well as a bunch of others. For the Nintendo 64, here I have a game. I met a friend, he met me here on YouTube actually, and we did some game hunting. He showed me this cool retro store, and I picked up Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This game requires the expansion pack, otherwise it won't run as well. And basically, it's just a racer game, pod racing. This game also came out on the Dreamcast, and apparently that's the better port. I think this game's okay. I mean, it was a little too easy. I was out in first most of the race. I don't know if I was playing on it too easy a difficulty or something, but yeah, there's no like items or anything, so it's not hectic. It was a little boring from what I played. Multiplayer will probably be really good on this, but I haven't been able to check that out. We only have one Nintendo 64 controller, which is crazy because that's one of the best consoles for multiplayer. But once I get around to playing the multiplayer for this, is pretty cool. My brother wants to get it on Dreamcast. Hopefully he does that, and because that's apparently the significant port. Next up we have some PlayStation 1 games, all of which I bought at MCM for a pretty good price. This was one I've been looking for a while, Bomberman Fantasy Race, and I played this game a load as a kid, absolutely loved it. You play on these like big, I don't even know what these are, these giant bunny rabbits, and then there's also rhino things. the reason I was looking for this game for a while, it's not uncommon, but what you'll always find is the Ubisoft value version, and I don't want to get that. I wanted the original Black Label. So every time I look through on eBay, it's only like a £10 game, maybe even cheaper, but it was always that version. So when I found it in MCM, I was really happy to finally find a Black Label version, and I had it in my hand, so there was no messing about. I opened it and there was no manual, but then I saw another, I think it was a value version, also at the same store. So I just quickly swapped the manual into this one and got it for the same price. So really happy with this game. It's a really fun racing game for the PS1. Not one of the best, but you get unlimited bombs you can throw them at people, and then you can also choose your own item, and it's just really fun. It's like, imagine a Bomberman racing game, and that's what you got. Really good game, I like that one. Next up, I got the original Worms, and the reason I got this was because it came in a bigger box with a demo as well. Well, also I like Worms, that's also a reason I got this, but I've never played the original Worms. I played Worms World Party on PS1, and oh my god, is that a huge improvement over this. I didn't realise how far they actually came from the original Worms. Like, I'm a huge Worms fan, played all the 2D ones, played a lot of 3D ones, and this is so, the graphics on this are so dated, like the pixels are so small you can barely tell they're Worms. It's the same gameplay and everything, but it was definitely improved past this version, so yeah, that's the original Worms. Next up is another game that I really enjoyed from my childhood. That's Pac-Man World. I don't think a lot of people like this game that much because, well, it's not really a Pac-Man game, it's just a platforming game with Pac-Man in to celebrate the, I think it was 20th anniversary of Pac-Man. I don't think it says in the box. No, but it says in the game, it's either the 20th or the 25th anniversary of Pac-Man. I can't remember exactly when this came out. But it's not as good as I remember, to be honest. It's a 3D game, but it's still kind of like a side-scroller because the levels are mainly in 2D. I mean, like, you can go up and down, you can go back and forwards, but you're mainly going from left to right throughout the levels. It's still a fun game though, still a good platforming game on the PS1. It's just it didn't hold up as well as I remember it. I still enjoy it though, still think it's a good game. Anyway, now moving on to some PS2s. I have the sequel to that. I've got Pac-Man World 2. And this was another one. I also played that when I was a kid, and this still does hold up. Originally I thought that the PS1 original Pac-Man World was better, but I've changed my ways now. I think this is the better game. This is an actual 3D platforming game with massive open levels. You can go around, collect loads of Pac Dots and stuff, collect all the fruit. The enemies are fun. You can beat ghosts. It's got good platforming sections, good mechanics. I really enjoy this game. Pac-Man World 2 is great. I've never played the third one. I should get the third one day, but I don't know, the box art scares me off. It looks a bit too different because he's got magical powers now and stuff. Moving on, I've got this game for 50p, and it's Intellivision, the history of video gaming. Well, it's not really the history of video gaming since this wasn't the first video game console or anything, but it is the history of Intellivision gaming. And I've been interested in the Intellivision. Looking back at second-gen consoles, the ones I'm interested in mostly are the ColecoVision and the Intellivision. Atari 2600 is infamous for having good and really bad games. I thought the Intellivision was different, but playing some of these games, they are very basic. Like, you've got the clones, you've got the... It's not called Space Armada. It might be called Space Armada. I'm not sure. But you've got clones of basically really basic games here. If ever there's a game that I want to check out on the Intellivision, when I eventually get an Intellivision, I guess I can play this version first and see if it's actually worth paying for. But yeah, that's fine. For 50p, I mean, loads of Intellivision games. There's like 60 something on there, so it's really worth it. And there's unreleased games and stuff. Pretty cool. I got Drakengard for the PS2. I got this pretty cheap. I've never played the Drakengard series, but it's been recommended to me by a couple of people. I have only played the beginning of this. Seems really basic to me, to be honest. Basic action RPG type thing. But I don't know, it might be fun. I only played, there's like dragons and stuff in this game, so it's got to be good, it's got to be fun. It's made by Square Enix, so it should be okay. This is a game that I put in my backlog that you can vote for, so I might play it or not. If you haven't checked it out yet, one of my last videos was voting on a game for me to review, and Drakengard was one of them, along with a few other games. So check that out, and if you want to see me play it, then vote for it. Next year I've been buying tons of Game Boy Advance games because I've been getting them for pretty good prices. My brother's been getting bundles and stuff, and I've also got some bundles and with like swapped games and stuff. We've got good stuff for our collection. Anyway, filling up some gaps in the Sonic series for Game Boy Advance, I got Sonic Advance 2, which the Sonic Advance series really shines on the Game Boy Advance. It really comes on its own to be something separate from the Mega Drive games, as well as the Rush series, and it's probably one of the best 2D Sonic series. This one introduces Cream, and it also introduces new styles of play, like you can do tricks now, which add to the platforming. A really good game. Sonic Advance 2 is really great, and I also got Sonic Advance 3, and what this adds to the series is you can have a partner, like in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 where you could have Sonic and Tails. In this you can mix and match. You can have Amy and Sonic could be a partner, you can have Tails and Cream, it's really cool, and each different partner you get, you end up getting different moves. So there's a whole lot of strategy to the platforming, which is really cool. These games are really great, and you definitely have to check out the Sonic Advance series if you haven't. Absolutely wonderful platformers on the Game Boy Advance, wonderful Sonic games, and you know, some people don't like the fact that Sega got out of the hardware business, and it is a shame. It's never good to see that. Like, if Nintendo were to drop out, you know, everyone would be upset. But one good thing that did come out of it was that we finally got some really great Sonic games on the Game Boy Advance, and the Game Boy Advance is a great platform for them because they played really nicely on the 16-bit machine. Next up, I got Rayman Raving Rabbids for the Game Boy Advance, and the Wii version and the PS2 version and the 360 version of this are minigame games, which was, you know, completely different from what the trailers originally showed at E3. They were originally going to be big 3D platformers. The Game Boy Advance version actually sticks to that. It's a platformer. It's a 2D platformer, kind of in the style of Rayman 3 on the Game Boy Advance, which is another good game. So, if you're looking for another good 2D platformer for Rayman Raving Rabbids on the Game Boy Advance is one to check out. And it also came out on the DS and was a completely different game to that, so I'll have to pick that one up as well. Next up, we have not a Super Nintendo port, but like a Super Nintendo sequel, F-Zero Maximum Velocity. And what's a shame about this game is that there's no Captain Falcon. You can't play as Captain Falcon in this, which on the original F-Zero and F-Zero X, I only played as Captain Falcon. So, but this is a really good game. It doesn't lose a lot of the features. It doesn't lose much of the power that the Super Nintendo had. It's a really good. It's not a port. It's its own game, but it plays pretty much exactly the same as the Super Nintendo F-Zero. But I think this one has multiplayer. So, yeah, this is a really good game for F-Zero fans to check out on the Game Boy Advance. Lastly, the only reason I got this game was because I got it in a bundle with one of the Mario games, which I'll show later. And it's Pocket Music, featuring a version of My Name Is, originally recorded by Eminem. And it's just a music creating tool, really boring, it's not really my thing. And I couldn't even find My Name Is on there. So yeah, there's that. Next, moving on to some more modern games, I have some Xbox 360 stuff here, and I have a Kinect game. I haven't bought a Kinect game in a while, but this is one that I wanted to get because it's made by Twisted Pixel, so you probably know what it is. It's the Gunstringer. I only played a little bit of this, but it was pretty fun. Like it's kind of like an on-rail shooter in the style of like a western, and it's also performed like a play, like say Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door or The Puppeteer on PS3. And yeah, it's fun. Like, you kind of just point at the screen and then you have to like pull your arm back to shoot. It actually works really well. The controls are pretty nice and it's a really fun game. I knew it would be good despite it being a Kinect game and sometimes they're not that great. But yeah, the fact that it was Twisted Pixel made it worth getting. It's a really fun game. If you have a Kinect, you've got to check out the Gunstringer. It's very cheap now. Next up, I got some games that from a franchise that I absolutely love, and I've been wanting to get more games from this franchise, but I don't know, I haven't done it recently. But this is definitely my favourite in the franchise. Played it a lot on older consoles and just picked it up again now. It's Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I love the Lego games. I think the gameplay in them is absolutely great, and this is definitely my favourite. It's one of my absolute favourite games on the 360. I love Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Originally, the first 3 movies came out on the PS2 in Lego Star Wars, which was funny because the game released before the third movie, so you can get a preview, you can get the entire story in Lego form before you even went to see the film, which I thought was pretty great. And then, yeah, they also went on to add the original trilogy, and now this is a complete package, and it's got a load of extras as well. It's got some new levels and new mechanics that weren't in the original game. You can now go and play those levels, and they've got new mechanics to them. A really great game. Absolutely love the Lego, the kiddie gameplay, the easy, simple, so much stuff to collect. It's just a lot of fun. It's a really fun game. I don't need challenging games or realistic games. As long as they're fun, I will enjoy them. Next up, I got Lego Harry Potter, and this is the limited edition. This is years 1 to 4. And it was funny when I was in a second-hand shop when I picked this up, and I only tried to get collector's editions complete, so I didn't exactly know what this came with. And then the woman there, she was like, "Oh, I think it comes with a figure or something." And I was like, "Yeah, I think it comes with that too. Can I have a check to see if the figure's in there?" So I opened it up, which I'll do an unboxing of this now, so you can see what actually comes in there. And there was no figure. And I figured out, get the pun, I figured out that there would be a figure in there since most of the Lego collector's editions come with a figure. But then I realised, hang on a sec, that wouldn't fit in the box along with all this other stuff, so it must be complete. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I guess it is complete then." Yeah, so I picked this up, and it comes with, like an Oyster card. This must have been an Oyster card holder. This must have been exclusive to Europe, because I don't think America has Oyster cards. I don't even know if other places in Europe have cards that you can use. Anyway, it comes with a load of cool stuff, and the game itself, like I said, I've only played a little bit of this one. But the Lego games, what's so good about them is that even though they're the same gameplay from game to game, since they take on completely different franchises, they all have their own feel. And if you like the original franchise, like I love Star Wars, recently I've been getting into Harry Potter, and to be honest, I haven't even got past Order of the Phoenix, the book or the film. So I really enjoy this one because I do like Harry Potter. I'm not the biggest fan like a lot of people can be, but it's fun, and playing it in Lego will be a whole lot of fun. I really love these games. I've got to try and check out the other ones. Like I've played Batman. I haven't played Pirates. There are a few others. Marvel. I need to get Marvel. Really great franchise. Love the Lego games. Last up for Xbox 360, another game that's in my backlog, so I haven't played much and won't talk about it much, is Brutal Legend. Played it before, got up to the strategy parts and stopped playing because it got a little boring from there when my brother had it before on PS3. So I'm glad that because this is a game that I should love. The music, the set list in this game, oh my god, Motley Crue, Megadeth, Tenacious D, so many, White Snake, you got so much great stuff in here that's, really up my alley, so I should love this game. And it's got Rob Halford and Ozzy Osbourne and Lemmy as voice actors, and Jack Black. Oh, I like Jack Black, he's funny. So I'm really looking forward to playing through this game. For 360 I also picked up Grand Theft Auto 4, which I'm not a huge fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. I mean, I'm not a hater. I actually like the prospect of like Grand Theft Auto 5, which I haven't played yet. And I've also played a bit of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I think they're fun. This one was just, I think, I don't like to say this, but I think this one's overrated because, on game rankings and like in Guinness and stuff, it's rated as like the best game ever. I think this is really, the story's really dull, and I think the gameplay's kind of boring. Compared to the other Grand Theft Autos, I mean, I think this is probably the worst in the series. So the only reason I picked this up is because my brother was selling it for cheap. I do want to check out Grand Theft Auto 5 though. I reckon that's going to be really good. Okay, moving on to some modern Nintendo stuff. I have one game here for the Wii, and it's one of the best Wii games. I won it as soon as it was announced, and what the hell, I don't know why I haven't got this until now. It's Kirby's Epic Yarn. What a fantastic, simple, pretty, like, dazzling game. It's really hard to, it's just a cutesy, really relaxing game. There we go, relaxing, that's the word I'm looking for. Kirby can, it wasn't originally a Kirby game, but then they put Kirby in it, but it still has the Kirby feel, like they've added all the enemies, and it kind of feels like a Kirby game anyway. It's cutesy, you can turn into different Like, you can't swallow enemies, but you can turn into different vehicles and use the Wii Remote to control them, which is really fun. It's a 2-player mode. The graphics are absolutely outstanding. The yarn, it's a beautiful game. It's really a fantastic 2D platformer and one of the best in the Kirby franchise. Even though I didn't start it as a Kirby game, it's definitely a Kirby game in my book. I really love this game, and you've got to check it out if you haven't. I also need to check out the new Kirby's. It's called here Kirby's Adventure Wii. In the United States it's called Return to Dreamland. That one's getting pretty pricey now, but this one is one of the cheaper Kirby games, and it's definitely one that you have to check out if you're a fan of, you know, fun, simple. It's an easy platformer, it's not challenging at all, but it's just a great game to play through. I didn't even plan on playing through the whole of this when I picked it up, but as soon as I played through the first level, that was it. I then went and played through the entire game and absolutely loved it. It's fantastic. Gotta check out Kirby's Epic Yarn if you haven't before. Next up for the 3DS is Resident Evil Revelations. This is the big box bundle that we got here in the UK, and it comes with the Circle Pad Pro. I'll do an unboxing of this. I haven't played this game yet, but I love the Resident Evil 1, and this game really takes it back to the survival horror roots, but uses the gameplay similar to Resident Evil 4 and 5. And with the Circle Pad Pro here, it probably it adds to the gameplay. I don't think I'm going to play this until I get a 3DS XL Circle Pad Pro, because I don't actually have access to the 3DS, the original 3DS. I have a 3DS XL. But the reason I bought this was because my brother was selling it pretty cheap, and I thought it was a pretty cool addition, and I'm going to want to play the game soon. So there's Resident Evil Revelations. And lastly for this part we have modern PlayStation games. So first off for the PSP, I picked up Everybody's Golf 2, and I've been picking up a lot of golf games recently. I really love golf games. I talked about the first Everybody's Golf on PSP and complained that the unlocks took a bit too long. You don't really feel like you're making progress when you play the game. I thought this game would fix that, and unfortunately it doesn't really. It's a little quicker, but it still takes too long to unlock everything. Like I really like when I'm getting loads of unlocks in golf games. It makes it worth playing through. Otherwise the games just seem really slow. Like, the best example is Mario Golf on the N64. You start off with like 2 characters, and then everything you do, you unlock more characters. This is, it suffers from the same problem that the first PSP one did. So I want to check out the Vita one and see if, I'm really hoping the Vita one fixes that, because from what I remember of the PlayStation 1 ones, they didn't have that problem. Next up, a game that I should have had ages ago, but the reason I didn't buy these is because my brother had them. So I've already played through this game, absolutely love them. It's for PlayStation 3. It's Uncharted. It is the pinnacle game on PlayStation 3. It is the absolute essential series that you have to have if you have a PS3. And I've recently bought a PS3 off of my dad, so I now have my own PS3. And so the first thing I got for it was Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Absolutely great blend of action, platforming, puzzling. Really blends genres really well, and it's an absolute great game by Naughty Dog. They completely improved upon this game in the second one, but this set the foundation for an absolute great franchise to come. So I absolutely love Uncharted, the Uncharted series as a whole. Drake's Fortune is probably my least favourite in the series, but it's still a great game. Gotta play Uncharted if you haven't played them. And then lastly, another quintessential PlayStation game. This is for the PlayStation Vita. It's Little Big Planet PS Vita. And to be honest, I was disappointed just because I forgot that this game come with a network pass. And cause the only reason I picked this up when I did was because I got it really cheap out of a second-hand shop. And then obviously I forgot about the network pass, come and played it, played for a few levels, really started enjoying it, was happy playing a Little Big Planet game again. And then the network pass thing struck, which is a shame. So I've only played the first world and a half of this probably, and I'll only go back to it once I've been bothered to purchase the network pass, so that all my stuff gets put on the leaderboard. And you can't even download or share levels without the network pass, so this game's completely nerfed at the moment. But mechanically the game's still pretty fun. They've added in cutscenes now, which is pretty funny, because you know, it fits the cutesy nature of Little Big Planet. The gameplay mechanics are all great, the touchscreen stuff works. I think this is a really good game. It's a lot better than the PSP one, and I might even prefer it to Little Big Planet on the PS3, the first one. I haven't played the second one yet, and now they're coming out with a third one, so I better pick that up and play that as well. But yeah, this is a good game, but I haven't gone back to it because of the network pass. It's a bit of a shame, but I'm sure I'm going to love it when I finally do pick it up and start with all the creation features and stuff. Looking forward to when that finally happens. So thanks for watching this part. If you're into Mario games, if you want to see all the Mario games I've picked up, if you want to see the progress I've made to my collection, then check out part 2 when I'll be released in a week or so. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.